Fab. Okay. Have a seat for me then. Cross your legs. Place your hands on your knees, close your eyes, and then just do what you need to do to get comfortable. So have a wriggle around, a fidget. Give the shoulders a wriggle. Close the eyes and drop the shoulders down. Start to breathe. So start to just concentrate on the breath. So just finding your own breath, not forcing anything, not having to match anyone else's breath. Just your own easy breath. And we're going to work today a little bit. It's going to be quite a simple sequence, but we're going to refine or tweak our anatomy as we're there. So we're getting comfortable for ourselves, not just kind of following the mold of the poses, really trying to listen in to what it feels like. We've done it a bit. Classes have got a bit stronger over the last couple of weeks, I feel like, and you've all been practicing more. So now is the time to tune in a little bit and refine or work out how the postures work for you. I don't just want you to make shapes for the sake of making shapes. I want you to make sure that you're feeling things in the right places, opening up in the right places, strengthening in the right places, all of that stuff. So there in your seat, notice the place of your shoulders. Are they a bit forwards of the hips? Are you leaning back a little? Can you lift the crown of the head? Maybe that'll help you find somewhere naturally for the shoulders to sit between the crown of the head and the hips. Notice in the lower back, are you curling into the lower back? Are you dumping in the lower back, or are you able to lift the belly button in and almost pull yourself a little forwards through the lower back? You might feel the seat get taller at the same time. And then sit there, relax through the hips. So just allow yourself to soften a bit through the front of the hips, that hip crease, the area where your hips fold in next to the torso. Just try and soften that space. So you're not tense, you're not holding on. Try and create a softness. Soft around the eyes. You can close the eyes, there's nothing to see right now, not too much going on. And soften the jaw, so you're not clenching the teeth. Subconsciously, we spend a lot of time tense throughout the week around our shoulders, our neck, our jaw. So if we only give ourselves an hour, let's make sure that we really soften that area and we don't bring that tension to the mat. And then I want you to round the shoulders forward. So really pull the shoulders in, let the upper back curl, look in towards the belly button. So really arching through the back. And then the complete opposite of that, left chest lift up and forwards, pull the shoulders right back, look up to the ceiling. And then come all the way around and in, really slow, doesn't have to be anything fancy or fast. And sit up, pull the shoulders all the way back. Do one more round, so rounding as far forwards as you can. And then lifting your chest as high as you possibly can. And then somewhere between those 2 points, we're going to settle. So somewhere halfway between the two. And then drop the chin into the chest. So just the chin now, isolating that movement to the neck. Roll the right ear to the right shoulder. All the way up, gaze to the ceiling. Left ear, left shoulder. And chin to chest. Once more, rotate that way. Although it's only the neck moving, you might feel that stretch come around the top of the shoulders. And then when the chin finally comes into the chest, just hold it there a moment and actually maybe you feel that stretch go all the way down in between the shoulder blades. Opposite way, left ear, left shoulder. Chin to the chest. Right ear, right shoulder. And chin down and in. One more that direction. Look up. And bring it round. And then restack the top of the spine, the neck. So the crown of the head is tall. Hold on to the front of the knee so you have a bit of an anchor through the hands. And just start to roll round on the seat bones. So roll the spine in circles. So you're rocking all the way around. One seat bone might lift, come to the front of your seat, roll over to the left, round to the back. So just massaging through the base of the seat bones. A bit like when we do that funny rounding in cat-cow, where we round the spine in a barrel shape, like that. So at first you might feel a bit stiff, the movement might not feel so easy. And then with a bit of time, when you come forwards, I want you to start opening the chest. And when you go back, I want you to start rounding through the back. You can close the eyes as you move, encouraging you to not worry about how it looks, but instead think about how it feels, massaging around the seat bones, moving all the way through the spine, so we're not fixed in that seat. Next time you come to the back, I want you to hold that position and then start to move the other way. So it might feel a little bit unnatural at first, might take you a few rounds to get into it. And then you start to go a bit wider with the circles. And you'll notice how you start to use the waist to pull in and strengthen as you round through the back. So there's a bit of engagement there without us even realizing. You're not having to do, loads of crunches or ab exercises. You can engage just as we move through the practice. You can build support and strength. Take one more and then finish on that forward motion. So I want you to finish lifting forwards through the seat. Open the chest, reach the arms up to the sky, look up, and then exhale, bring the hands into prayer heart center. Just close the eyes. Maybe set an intention for your practice, a physical intention. That's what we're kind of concentrating on today, how things feel. So if there's a particular area of your body that you need to either work on or protect or be careful of because there's an injury, just give yourself a minute now to scan the body, to have a think, have a feel, and then keep that in your mind as we move and as we practice. So when you start to rush or get a bit distracted, just bring yourself back to that. And then take the hands down in front of you to the mat and step back into your first downward facing dog. So take it slow. Start to just walk on the spot, knees bent to start with, so you don't need to force anything straight. You don't need to worry about whether the legs are straight. Just start to pedal out. And then once you get a bit warmer through the calves, maybe you're able to push the heels a bit closer to the ground. We'll rise to the tiptoes and then push the heels away. Rise to the tiptoes and push the heels away. Go one more tiptoes and push heels away. Get comfortable there. Give the head a shake, a bit of a nod back and forwards. Wriggle from side to side. And then I want the head to fall in between that space created by your upper arms. So you're not holding it up, you're not creasing into the back of the neck, and you're also not tucking the chin all the way in. There's just this nice neutral line through the neck, all the way up through the back. Imagine someone's holding onto your hips and just lifting them up to the ceiling, so they're lifting them a bit higher. The spine can lengthen more, the hands, the arms, the shoulders, all of that pushes down, gets longer, there's more space. And then come forwards to a plank position. Hold that plank position so you can move your feet. You're not fixed to the mat. You can wriggle around so you're comfortable. In your plank, just lift your hips an inch higher than they were. Notice that engagement around the center of the body. Push down into the hands a bit more. Feel the arms lengthen. Maybe even slightly lift in the upper back so that plank becomes more active. We're not just resting there. And then take your knees to the floor. Bend the elbows slowly lower all the way down. Hands come off the ground. Point the toes. Inhale, look forwards, tiny back bend. Just look to the top of the mats. Exhale, lower down, forehead to the floor. Take your hands and just place them in the lower back. So just above the base of the trousers, in that lower back space. You're going to keep your hands there. I don't want you to push into the hands at all when you lift up. The back bend only comes above the hands. So look forwards, try and keep the lower back relaxed underneath the hands and just lift from the chest. Exhale, lower down. Do one more like that. Lift above the hands, lift through the chest, the shoulders. Exhale, lower down. Now release the hands to the floor. Tuck the toes, take it back, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out one. Inhale. Exhale two. Rest the knees to the floor, hands and knees. Now imagine your spine is divided in two. So where your bra strap is, where your sports bra is, divides the upper back and the lower back. Only the lower back is going to move. Let the tailbone tilt back and then tuck the tailbone under. So the movement isn't going to be as big as our normal cat-cow. We're just letting the tailbone flare back and the tailbone tuck under. If it's quite hard to isolate and not move the upper back, that's all right. It's just not natural. So you've really got to think about the movement, just the tailbone, just the lower back. So hopefully you're feeling quite a bit more abdominal work and control. Tailbone under, tailbone back, tailbone under, tailbone back. Okay, hold the lower back still. Now can you just look forwards with the chest and just pull the chin in so the upper back rounds a little, but don't take it to the lower back. Just look forwards with the chest. And just round slightly through the upper back. A bit harder than the lower back to isolate. Take 3 more. Make this the last one. Okay, now round the whole spine. Now you have 5 rounds, as much movement as you can create. So tailbone back, chest forwards, opening all the way through that front line. Exhale, round and arch. Hopefully feeling like you're creating much more space. Inhale forwards. Exhale, round. Feel the abdominals pull in. Inhale forwards. Elbows might bend a little to help you come even further forwards. Exhale, round. Inhale forwards. Exhale, round. Your biggest forward stretch on this next inhale. And your biggest arch through the spine as you exhale. Now toes tuck. Lift back into downward facing. Push the heels down to the ground. Push the hands into the floor. Look towards the hands. Step the right foot forwards in between the hands. If it doesn't come all the way, use the right hand, bring it forwards. Rest the back knee down. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. And then start with that tailbone movement. So tailbone back, let it flare back. Tailbone all the way under. Tailbone back. And go tailbone all the way under. 2 more times. Tailbone back. Tailbone all the way under. Last one, tailbone back. And then tailbone under. Keep that squeeze on there. And move the hips forwards. Whilst you're squeezing that left hip. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in. Shrug the shoulders up to the ears. And breathe out. Relax them down. Breathe in. Shrug the shoulders up to the ears. Breathe out. Shrug them down. 2 more in. And out. Breathe in. And out. Take both hands down inside of your right foot. Keep the right hand there, so not the one we normally do. Keep the right hand inside the right foot. Reach your left arm open to the left side of the room. So you're rotating your chest open. Exhale, bring that left hand down. Inhale, lift up and rotate. Exhale, bring it down. Each time you're seeing if you can lift up and look higher to the ceiling and bring it down. Should be quite strong as well on the inside of the right thigh where that right arm is pushing into the right knee. You've got a barrier. Make this your last one. Hold it up. Inhale. Exhale. Push more into that right upper arm and feel the chest spiral open to the left side of the room. Relax the head if it's too much for the neck. You can even just drop the gaze down to the floor for 3. Keep breathing for 2. And 1. Slowly bring that left hand down. Both hands stay where they are. Take the right leg back and kick the leg to the back of the room. So like all fours, but you're lifting that right leg back. Stretch that right heel away. And I want you to feel the engagement through the back of the right leg. So try and squeeze, engage the right glutes. You feel the right hamstring working as well. Keep the torso still. Can you reach the left arm out in front of you? Holding for 3. Breathe here, 2. Inhale. Exhale on 1. Round the elbow and knee together. Inhale, reach and stretch back. Exhale, round and pull in. Inhale, reach and stretch back. Exhale, round and pull in. On this last one out, you're going to hold. So reach, right leg back, left arm forwards. Stay there. Keep the lower body still. Reach your left hand further forwards. Feel the shoulders slide up the back. And then pull the shoulder blade down. Reach for the front of your room. And then pull the shoulder blade down. So can you control that movement of the shoulder blade on the back a couple more times? Last one. Both hands down. Let the right knee come to the floor. Tuck the toes. Take it back into downward facing dog. Breathe in. Roll your downward facing dog forwards. Nice strong plank position. Exhale, lower all the way to the floor. Everyone down, but hands can stay on the ground. Point the toes, lift the chest forwards. Can you make that movement come from the chest and the upper back? Only slightly into the lower back. Exhale, lower. Toes tuck. Knees bend, take it back to downward facing dog. Lift the hips high. Breathe in and out. Look to the hands. Step the left foot forwards. If you need to use the hand to help, then do so. Rest your back knee down. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. So start with the pelvic tilts. Inhale, let the tailbone go back. Exhale, pull the tailbone under. Inhale, let it go back. Exhale, pull under. 3 more. So you find that squeeze in the back of the right hip. Might help you find it if sometimes you're not sure what I mean by that. 1 more. And squeeze, hold it. Now move the hips forwards. So it's stronger in that right hip. Inhale, lift the arms to the ceiling. Let the shoulders come up. Exhale, drop them down. Inhale, lift the arms to the ceiling. Exhale, drop them down. For 3. And down. For 2. And down. Last one. And down. Take both hands to the floor inside of the left leg. Left hand stays there. Inhale, reach the right arm up to the sky. Open the chest. Maybe one side, you have more rotation than the other. So if it feels a bit tight, don't worry. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, open it out to the side. Fan the chest open. Exhale, bring it down. 3 more in. And out. You can push against that left upper arm. Inhale. Exhale. Final one. Breath in. and out. Both hands down. Keep the right knee where it is. Stretch the left leg back. So kick the left heel back. Find that engagement at the back of the left leg. Just notice if you drop in the center of the body, can you pull the belly button in and make a bit more space between the chest and the ground? Opposite arm reaches away, so stretch that right arm forwards. Holding for 3, 2, 1. Round as you exhale. Reach away as you inhale. Round as you exhale. Reach away as you inhale. Round as you exhale. Reach away and hold on the inhale. So holding it there. Now reach those right fingertips further forwards. Pull the right shoulder back. Reach the fingers forward. Pull the shoulder back. One more time. Stretch. And pull back. Right hand down. Left knee down. Tuck the toes downward facing. Heels stretch away. Now when we come through this next vinyasa, you don't need to rest the knees if you'd rather challenge yourself and do so without the knees. So come forwards to a plank. Lower all the way down, or just come and hold halfway. If you're coming all the way down, lift up, opening just the chest. If you're coming halfway, push into the hands, move the chest forwards. So stretch the chest forwards. Exhale, everyone, hips up to the sky, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out 1. Breathe in. Breathe out 2. Reach that right leg high up to the sky. So lift the right leg high. Now see how it feels to open the right hip to the right side of the room. And then close the right hip so it faces down to the ground. So think about that bony part at the front of the hip. Open it to the right side of the room. Face it down to the ground. Or you can think about the toes. Turn them out to the right side of the room and face them back down to the ground. Once more. Turn the hip externally, rotates, and then face it back down to the ground. Lift the knee into the chest, bring it forwards, step that right foot forwards. Reach the arms up to the sky, high lunge. Breathe in. A little lower, breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Take the hands to the hips. So your hips are steady. Your lower body is steady. You can bend that back knee a little. Open the chest, pull the elbows back, look up a bit. And then exhale, almost try and round the upper body forwards. Inhale, open the chest, feel the spine open through the front. Exhale, round it forwards. Really strong in the lower body. One more. And round. Now settle somewhere between the two. And reach your arms back up to the sky. Holding for 3. Sit a little lower in the hips for 2. 1, right arm forwards, left arm back. Warrior 2. So you can wriggle those right toes forwards. Work out where you need to be with that right foot, that right knee. So you might be able to go a bit deeper, or you might need to take it further forward still. And then here, tailbone back, tailbone really tucks under. Tailbone back, tailbone really tucks under. Go one more, take it back. And tuck under, then find somewhere between those two. So somewhere neutral. Inhale, pull the arms back behind you. So stretch them as far out as you can. And then bring them forwards to touch. Pull them back, open the chest. Squeeze the shoulders and bring them to touch. One more, all the way back, ignoring the fact the right thigh is burning. Bring them to touch, and then stretch the arms out wide. Flip the right palm. Let the left hand rest down the left leg. Reach that right arm back. Spiral the chest open. Stretch that right side. Sit lower. Feel it stretch more. And then windmill the hands down to the ground. Step back, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out, one. Breathe in. Breathe out, two. Inhale. Look to the hands. Step the same foot forward. So right foot forwards. Come onto the fingertips instead of the hands. Lift the left leg off the floor. So balancing on the fingertips. Lift up through that right thigh. Keep the left leg stretching back. Now look at the right ankle. Watch the right inner ankle. Let it roll in. And then pull back, push into the outside of the right foot. Let the ankle roll in slightly. And then come back, push into the outside of the foot. Do that a couple of times. And then I want you to settle somewhere where the arch of the foot is in a nice strong position. And you'll feel now there's more work in the outside of the right hip. So hopefully more strength in the outside of the right hip. Long step back with your left leg. Reach both arms up to the sky. Inhale, you can straighten both legs. And then exhale, fold the body forward. So the legs are straight. You might need to bend them a bit if the hamstrings are tight. Fingers to the floor. Forward fold. So you're trying to lift up through both thighs. And let that left side of the body drop forward. So it's easier for the right side to come forwards. Make sure the left side is coming forwards too. It's not open to the left side of the room. Breathe in. Breathe out. Maybe even put a bit more weight down through the left fingers. So more strength down through that left side. And give yourself space to pull that right hip back. Lengthen the right leg. One more breath. Exhale. Bend into the right knee. Rest the left knee all the way down to the floor. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands into prayer, center of the chest. Turn the body all the way over to the right. So just keep twisting, face the right side of the room, twisting the spine, looking to the right wall, to the right side of your room. And then leaning the body to the top of the mat so the left elbow hooks outside the right thigh. Come into your twist and really feel that work around the outside of the right hip. Breathe in. Look up more to the ceiling. Breathe out. Breathe in and out. One more breath. Exhale. Inhale. Come back to your low lunge. Reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, take the hands down and forward. Step back, downward facing dog. Pedal on the feet. You can stay in your downward facing dog, or if you want to come through a vinyasa, come into a plank all the way down or halfway. Inhale, push into the ground if you're all the way up, or just lift the chest if you're on the floor. Exhale, downward facing dog. Waist in to lift you back. Heels stretch down. Checking the head and the neck are relaxed. Breathing in. And breathing out. Left leg high to the sky. So stretch that left leg up. Same sequence as the right hand side. Open your left hip. And then close the left hip.
Externally rotate. Internally rotate. External open. Internal close. One more. External open. Internal close. Pull that left knee into the chest. Step the left foot forwards. Reach the arms up to the sky. Lift nice and tall. Stretch the arms up high. Bend in the back knee a little. Get comfortable in your high lunge. Take the hands to the hips. Inhale, pull the shoulders back. Open the chest. Exhale, round the body forwards. Inhale, open the shoulders. Lift the chest. Exhale, round the body forwards. One more, pull back. And come forwards. Return to a neutral position between the two. Reach the arms up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath. Warrior two. So turn your right toes out. Let the arms open wide. Wriggle your feet, so get comfortable in the feet, maybe lengthening the stance or maybe shortening, whatever you need. Flip both palms to face the ceiling. Drop both shoulders. And then bring the hands back so they face the floor. Flip both palms to face the ceiling. Relax the shoulders. And then hands face the floor. Two more times. Flip the palms. Drop the shoulders. Palms face down. Last one. Flip. Relax. And back down. Sit lower in your left knee. So feel that left thigh working. Feel the strength. Right hand down the back of the right leg. Reach the left arm up to the sky. Open the chest. Take an extra inhale breath. Exhale. Windmill both hands down to the ground. And then bring your left foot back a little. Walk your hands further forwards and lift your right leg off the floor. This isn't quite the sequence of the other side, but we'll get everything in, just realized. So look at your left inner ankle. Now let the left inner ankle fall in and then pull the ankle back so you're pushing into the outside of the foot. So it's almost like we let the weight come to the inside of the foot and then we let the weight come to the outside of the foot. Inside, outside. Inside, outside, balance somewhere between the two, somewhere that you feel strong and comfortable. And then slowly let the right foot go to the back of the mat, come all the way up, reach the arms to the sky, straighten both legs. And then exhale, take the hands down and forwards to the floor. Let the body come forwards. Now, if you need to adjust the feet, just glance and check that your feet aren't on a tightrope. Otherwise, that's going to be really hard. So you want there to be space between the feet widthways. Relaxing the head. Softening the shoulders. Breathing in. And breathing out. Maybe push a little more into that right hand so we don't just collapse over to the left. As you're pushing down into those right fingers, see if you can pull the left hip back. So can you lengthen that left hip back? Breathing in and breathing out. One more breath. Exhale, bend your left knee, bring the right knee down to the floor. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky, hands in prayer. Exhale, bring that prayer to heart center. And then twist. Upper body rotates to the left. Before we come forwards, and push that elbow down. I want you to think about how much you can twist the body open to the left side of the room. And then you let that right elbow hook outside of your left thigh and you lift the chest. Hopefully doing it that slow, you get a deeper stretch around that left hip. Can you spiral not just the chest, but can you twist all the way down through the belly button area, opening to the left side of the room. Still breathing. In fact, using that breath to twist a bit deeper. One more. Exhale. Okay, look down to the ground. Take both hands down, step back into downward facing dog. A vinyasa for those who would like, come forwards to a plank. Halfway down or all the way to the floor. If you're coming all the way, lift just the chest, look forward, squeeze the shoulders back. Exhale, lower it down. Toes tuck, knees bend, back into downward facing. And see if your heels can lengthen a bit further back now. We've opened more around the hips and the backs of the legs. Bend, soften the knees. See if you can connect belly and thigh. So you have this connection, this resting point of the belly on the thigh with the knees bent. Now see if you can maintain that connection as you try and straighten the legs. You won't maintain it all the way, but the intention of sending the belly towards the thighs. Do it a couple more times if you like. So start with the knees bent and the belly touching, and then straighten the legs. See how long you can hold on to that touch. One more time if you want. Knees bent, holding that connection, straightening the legs, relaxing, pushing down into the hands. Reach your right leg up to the sky. Bend the right knee, open the right hip. Enjoy that stretch through the inside of the left leg, maybe through the front of the right thigh. See if you can pull the right heel in to touch the back of the right hip. That should make the stretch more intense. And then bring your right knee into the chest. Step the right foot forwards. Turn the left toes to the left side of the room. Windmill open, warrior two. Arms out nice and wide. And then in your warrior two, keep the hips super still. Reach the right arm forward, tilt the body forwards, and then bring it back to center. Reach the left arm back, tilt the body back, and bring it to center. So somewhere between the two. Flip the right arm, reach up to the ceiling, open through the chest, open that right side of the body. And then bring the right hand down to the ground inside of the right foot. Inhale, sweep the left arm up to the ceiling and then reach it to the front of the room. And then here, what I want you to do is think about this left side of your rib cage, the left shoulder, the left armpit. I want you to slowly rotate the body so the left armpit faces the floor, and then the left armpit faces up to the ceiling. Left armpit faces the floor, so the spine is kind of rotating. Left armpit opens to the ceiling. 3. With the breath, inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Let that left hand come down. Turn so you're on the back toes. You've got a lizard low lunge, so maybe that back knee stays lifted if you're feeling like a bit more strength, a bit more of an active practice, or you rest that back knee for more of a passive stretch. You can decide what you need, active or passive. If you're someone that always rests and takes that option to rest the knee, maybe persevere, keep those back toes tucked and test yourself. Likewise, if you're someone that's always like, I'm not going to rest my knee, then maybe you should, and just notice how it feels to actually soften into the stretches rather than forcing You might find that that actually gives you more space and that battling doesn't really necessarily get you anywhere. So then everyone can rest the back knee, whether it was lifted or not, make sure it's down. Point the left toes to the back of the room. Wriggle your right foot a little wider out to the side. And inhale, reach your right arm up to the sky, open the chest. And we're just going to take a really soft, gentle stretch here. So just reach that right arm up. Let the body open all the way through the left hip, across the chest, through the right shoulder, and those right fingertips stretch nice and high. And then right hand comes down to the floor. Tuck the back toes, step to your downward facing dog. And just notice the differences in both sides of the body there. Notice the differences around the hips in particular. Breathing. Exhale. One more breath in. Exhale. Take the left leg high. Stretch that left leg up to the ceiling. Bend the left knee. Open the left hip. So see if you can bring the left heel to touch the back of the left hip. So you're trying to close the back of the left leg. Trying to shorten that space between the hip and the heel as you stretch the front of the left thigh, the inside of the right leg. Bring that left knee into the chest. Step that left leg forwards. Rise up to your warrior two. So turn the right toes out. Windmill the arms open. Breathing in. And breathing out. Sit a little lower. Breathing in. Breathing out. Now use the right fingertips. Pull yourself to the back of the room. So stretch the body back. Come forwards. Stretch the body to the front of the room. Settle between the two. Flip the left palm. Reverse. So reach that left arm up and back. And then exhale, left hand comes all the way down to the inside of the left foot. Right arm reaches up to the sky and then stretches to the front of the room. Thinking about the right armpit, the right shoulder. Right armpit and shoulder faces down to the ground as you exhale. Inhale, open it to the ceiling. So it's like we're opening and closing that right side of the body, closing down to the floor, opening up to the sky. And maybe each time we open, there's more space. Bring it down. And there might not be more space today. It might feel tight all the way through the exercise, but next time you come to practice, you'll have laid down foundations for creating more space. It's just a layering game. Each time you just add a little bit to the practice until finally it starts to explain itself. Bring the right hand down. Turn on the right toes. So our first option is to stay active if you like. Second option, to rest the back knee. You decide what you need, what you took on the other side. Just make sure that wherever you are, you're breathing. Maybe homing back in on that intention you set at the start of the practice. If it was to maybe soften the shoulders, do that here. If you're wanting to protect the lower back, just make sure you keep the navel into the spine. And breathe. Soften around the eyes, soften through the jaw. Okay, and then everyone rest their back knee down. Walk that left foot out to the side a little. Just give yourself some more space at the top of the mat. Reach your left arm up to the sky. Open through the chest. Gaze up to the ceiling, but not harsh. Don't throw the head back. Just look upwards to open the chest and the throat. Two more breaths in and out. Breathe in and out. Slowly bring that left hand down. Take your right knee back, take your left knee back, so both knees are back. You're in an all fours position, so you've got your knees directly below your hips. Pull the belly button in, and then just walk your hands forward. So stretch your arms to the top of the mat, and you're opening that space underneath the shoulders. If you're a bit more mobile in the shoulders, you might start to bring the chest down. You might rest the forehead. You might rest the chin. If that feels too harsh in the neck, just look to one side, but give yourself 2 or 3 breaths each way. Three more in and out. In and out. Last one. Exhale. Okay, slowly come back up. That's the hard bit, pushing back up into the hands. Walk the hands in. Now leave the thumbs touching. So your hands want to be a bit closer than they would in a normal downward facing dog. The very tips of my thumbs are touching. Maybe there's a bit more space between my hands and their knees than there normally would. So this, if you can just glance, this is my normal position. I'm holding my hands, probably another hand further forward so the thumbs touch. And then I'm going to bend both elbows at the same time to touch the ground, not one and then the other. Pushing to both hands, lift both elbows at the same time. So none of this, not one then the other. Both elbows down, both elbows up, both elbows down, both elbows up. It's a funny way of controlling that movement through the shoulders. So if you want more, if you're like, okay, I've got this, tuck the toes, lift the hips up so you're in downward facing dog, and you're going to do the same. Both elbows down, both elbows up. If you're staying on the knees, that's plenty to start with. Just work on that. 2 more. And then we're all going to stay with the elbows down. If you're in downward dog already, you can stay there. If your knees are on the floor, you can keep the forearms down and practice lifting into a variation of a downward dog, but with the elbows down. And you may well have the knees super bent. That's fine to start with. Just concentrate on that strength down through the forearms. If you're very comfortably on the floor with the elbows and in your down dog, just practice reaching one leg as high as it will go and then lowering down. Reaching the other leg as high as it will go and then coming down. Everyone rest the knees out to the edges of the mats. Sit back, hips to the heels, forehead to the floor. And then bring your hands into a prayer position whilst you're in your child's pose. Bend the elbows and bring the thumbs to the upper back. So we stretch the triceps. And if you can take even more stretch, wriggle the elbows further forwards. Push the hips back. Breathe. If it's too much and you just want to let the arms fall forwards, then you can do so. Just breathe here. Think about softening the belly into the thighs. Think about relaxing around the backs of the shoulders. Got 2 more breaths in and out. Breathe in and breathe out. Reach the arms out if they weren't out. Push down into the hands. Walk your knees forwards. Come towards the top of the mat. Cross the feet, have a seat. Stretch the right leg out in front of you. Bring that left leg in. So we're going to start with something we've not done for a while. Have a bit of space between your left foot and your inner thigh. You're going to reach your left hand inside of the thigh. So you've got to come inside or you are going to find it hard. So come inside of that left thigh, like you're reaching for your right toes. And then, like you're swimming in a pool, take that left arm all the way round the left thigh. Right hand comes around the other side. You might grab t-shirt or you bind. So you either hold your fingertips or you grab your t-shirt and you wriggle your fingers closer each time until eventually they touch. And if they don't touch, don't lose sleep over it. Look to the right knee and just fold forwards. So you get a really good compression through that left side of the belly. Should have gone the other way really, but compressing through the descending colon, massaging that left side, relaxing the back of the head and the neck. Stay there. If you want to just play a little bit, you want the challenge, see if you can sit onto both seat bones and lift that left foot off the ground. Hold the chest up so you're just sat upright with the same bind, just pulling that left thigh in. And then we'll all place it back down. When you come down, maybe you can come further forwards now into that fold if you took that option. If you're just working with trying to move into that fold, that's okay. There's loads of different levels of people in the classes at the moment, so I'm just giving options. You just do what you need. Okay, and then come back up. Release the arms. Release that left leg out, give it a shake. And then see how the left leg feels in comparison to the right leg. And then bend the right knee. A bit of space, so kind of about hand width between the inner thigh and the foot. Right arm reaches as if it's going to touch the left toes. And then, like you're swimming in a pool, take that right arm around. Left arm comes behind, and we reach for fingertips or t-shirts. Looking down to the left thigh. Compressing nicely through that right side, through the ascending colon. Breathe with each exhale. Can you move a bit further forwards? Inhale. Exhale. Okay, maybe lift up into a seat. Lift that right foot. Think about the balance. Open the chest. Straighten through the spine. And then take that right foot forwards and come deeper into your fold. And then we'll all release. Let the arms go. Take that right leg out, give it a shake. If they aren't, just spin your legs to the top of the mat. Bend both knees, plant them to the floor, have them about hip width apart, just so you're comfortable in that stance. Take your hands back, your fingers point to the toes, so they're not facing to the back of the room, they're pointing to the toes, just a bit friendlier on the wrists and the shoulders. Pull the belly button in, and then drive down into the feet, lift your hips up to the sky, open the chest, creating a straight line from the shoulders to the hips to the knees. Give yourself a bit of oomph, lift the hips up, don't let them drop in the middle. If it's okay, look back, but don't worry about that. If it feels quite tight in the neck, you can stay looking to the belly or to the knees. Holding for 3, 2, 1. Rest your hips down to the floor. Take your hands, just hold on to the front of the shins and lift the feet off the ground. So we're in a Navasana, but we're just resting the hands. And then change the position of the hands so it's to the calves, to the back of the legs. See if you can lightly lift the back of the legs. Lift them higher, lift them higher. Point the toes, reach them up and away. and then slowly bend them back down. Now, a real gain of control. Take the arms out to the side. Keep the feet off the floor. Can you slowly lower the spine down? So all that work we've done on tucking the tailbone under, controlling the lower abdominals, the lower back. Roll it to the floor, really slow. Rest the feet, rest the arms, rest the shoulders, rest the head. Take a breath here. Big exhale. Push into the feet. Take the hips up to the sky, holding that position, pushing the feet down. Now I want you to keep the hips quite high, but I just want you to practice completely letting go of the strength in the glutes. So the hips will drop a bit, then you're going to squeeze the glutes and support the lower back again. Just one more time, drop the strength of the glutes. Notice that dip it allows in the lower back. And then for the last time, squeeze the glutes on. Use them to strengthen and support the pelvis and the lower back. See if you can tuck the tailbone here so the glutes will get even stronger. You might feel that stretch through the thighs for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll the spine down. So slowly rolling into the mat. Massaging the spine all the way down. Taking your time, really, really slow. Rest the hips to the floor finally. Wriggle the feet out to the edges of the mat and let the knees fall inwards. So we have an internal rotation through the thighs. Rest the hands onto the belly. If you can't feel that stretch through the hips, walk the feet further out to the sides. I want you to feel that inward pulling on the thighs, right to the hip sockets. 3 big breaths in and out. Maybe try and squeeze the knees together, in. So it feels strong. Exhale. One more breath. Exhale. Okay, and then let that go, the tension between the knees. Stretch the left leg all the way to the bottom of the mat and stretch the right leg all the way down. Let the feet fall out to the side. Notice that space on the inside of the hips and the thighs now. If there's anything missing from your practice that you want to do, feel free. If not, we're going to close the practice. So just sink the shoulders down into the ground. Have a bit of a wriggle. Rock the head from left to right. And then let it fall somewhere between the two, somewhere comfortable. Turn the toes out. Let the hips be fully relaxed. Feel very supported through the lower back, through the back of the shoulders and the back of the rib cage, the back of the upper arms, down to the elbows where they connect with the ground. Just notice the breath. Steady, easy breath. Give your body a chance to absorb the effects of the practice and also just to be quiet for a few moments. I've done a lot of talking in today's class and a lot of instructing. So just let the body completely surrender. Doesn't need to listen to any instruction. Just needs to fully relax. Just being here is enough. Just notice that rhythm of the breath underneath the hands. Feeling the body expand and then deflate. Expand and then deflate.
Air coming in and traveling out. Let the breath become a little louder so that you can hear your own breath. Still not forced, but there's a strong audible sound to the breath now. And the sound of that breath almost wakes you back up. It brings you out of your relaxation, makes you present, makes you aware. Notice the light in the room, thinking about your surroundings. Take some movement down to the fingers and the toes. Roll the wrists and roll the ankles. Stretch them out, whether that's overhead, you might reach the arms out to the side. Filling as much space as you can. So really fill and open up the body in the space around you. And then make yourself as small as you can by bringing your knees into the chest, giving them a good squeeze. Push your back down into the floor as you do so. So make yourself into a really small ball. You might bring the shoulders up, look into the belly button. And then with the eyes closed, rock up to a seat. Cross the legs. Place the hands on the knees and sit tall. And just notice your posture. So how you feel in the hips, in the lower back, all the way up through the shoulders, down the arms, around the neck, back of the head. And then inhale, just reach the arms up to the sky. Lift it tall, so grow an inch taller. And then pull the hands down into prayer heart center. And if you did, set yourself a little intention. If there was a part of the body that you were trying to work with or work around, then notice how that feels for practice, for giving yourself some time and focus. Bow your chin into the chest, just thanking yourself for giving up some time on your Sunday morning. Namaste.